X-Fire.
Thank you very much, Nomad. We do get into it. Game 1, Jonathan. Look at this. We have a mid Undying. And what did I tell you the first time we cast this Niku bloke? He's cocky. He's really, really cocky. Look, only cocky people run this mid Undying.
Yeah, of course. And I'm really keen to see what Navi does with it. Like we were hearing the panel, you know, it lacks mobility. It's not really... It might be able to crush the lane. I think the big thing with the mid Undying is that access to your triangle, right? You recall the times when you run Undying pause 1 with... You know, Rotting Mitts used to be his shard, right? You'd go straight to the triangle, you'd clear out stacks, you'd use Tombstone, you'd use your Flesh Golem, and you get so much farm by the 10-minute mark if you get some good stacks. The Undying completely bodies other heroes for that gold. So I'm keen on seeing if Navi can maintain control in the triangle, build those stacks, and kind of play with the Undying that way, because that's the most straightforward way to make that mid-Undying snowball.
Oh, I don't know if you want to level 1 team fight against an Undying, boys. Xtreme. They'll see Niku eventually, and they, of course, will not bother. Because, you know, I like this young man, John. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I get connections with players, and there's something about Niku. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a big deal. I'm telling you.
I mean, I think he's already a big deal.
He's a big deal, you know, but he's going to be a bigger deal, John.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone's going to be watching him. If this one pans out, it's going to be something that a lot of teams will have to read and understand. And this matchup up against the Kunkka, it's a very interesting one, right? Because you do have Tidebringer to play with. You do have the High Tide to play with as well. A little bit more lower cooldown, not the most when it's just one hero. We are seeing some trades in that triangle area. A little bit of a good early read from Paulson. Does have the Sentry, and you don't really win out that trade early on with that Brain Sap, of course. Not yet leveled up on Paulson, but could just go for that. I think he has the right idea of keeping track of that triangle. And we'll see if, again, he can maintain that. He does keep Watcher control to his side. We're taking a look at that mid. And again, for the Kunkka, this isn't bad. Every time you have Tidebringer, you're going to be able to twack away at Niku just fine. Decay, you're going to run out of mana quicker in the Undying, especially since you don't have mangoes in this lane. You're going to have to go for the bottle and control runes a lot more. And that's something that you can kind of play around here for XM. Once this Undying starts to run out of mana, if you kind of space out those decays a little bit too much, it becomes very comfy for XM to just do what he wants. And, you know, you ride into that level 3, level 4 spike, it starts to equalize a little bit for the Kunkka if you're not careful with the resource management for Niku.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Niku, you're going to want that level 3 mark at the very least before you can start to be really aggressive there in that mid lane. But for now, it is certainly going to be an XM favored lane. Speaking of lanes, though, bottom lane XXS on the Darks here. Riddies is there trying to be a bit of a nuisance, but there's only so much he can do. What do you think about this TA Darksea matchup? Because we kind of heard Fear and BSJ mentioning that it's a bit of a back and forth. You don't really know who's going to win. You know, it kind of goes either way, a bit of a coin flip. Do you like it this game, John? Do you think maybe with the Marcy it's maybe a little bit different?
I think with the Marcy, it's really strong with that level 2 Iron Shell. The issue is when you're running into the Abaddon, right? You have to deal with the Aphotic Shield, you have to deal with refraction, and yes, you can kind of melt that with the Iron Shell, but it also buys you enough time to look to counterfight in. And it's double melee. It's easy for the TA to try to line up some shots, especially while farming creeps, of course. Maybe a little bit easier when they're further back with ranged, but still something manageable for the TA. I think the big thing is trying to separate that TA from the Abaddon is going to be difficult. As long as Riddies maintains good spacing, is aware of where that Marcy is, it should be fine.
Zayats going to be chased down by Paulson. Let's get the Blood Grenade off, but can't keep chasing. Armate does want to sit back a little bit. Devastating these SFs. You've got to be a little bit careful about the amount of damage they can pump out at level 3, but for now, things relatively safe. PMA having a pretty good time as well in this off-lane Pangolier, not really struggling whatsoever. Should be relatively safe here with Zayats around, assuming Zayats can survive this, and of course he will. PMA doing what most cores won't do, John, which is helping their supports.
That he does. I think you have to also be very cautious of helping too much, right? Like, if you get Nightmared, if there's enough mana here on Got the Juice or on Ame, he can just go for those raises. At least it's not the Shadowmire facet. You're not going to get slowed. He is going for that scaling, lasting presence instead. So the lane isn't as hard to play into when you do get locked in from Nightmare into the combination.
Oh, there it is. Niku goes for the level 2 Soul Rip. That's the way to play this mid Undying, right? Most people assume you still go Tombstone. Soul Rip's the right way to go because you've got that level 2 Decay. You get a couple of stacks off, Soul Rip, see you later. Yeah. Very smart from Niku.
Yeah, you play right close to the creeps as well. A lot of damage can come in. They did buff the damage values up just 1 point at level 2, but that can stack up with enough units around. And again, for the Kunkka, it's all about resource management. Niku's been pretty on point, ensuring his mana is always healthy. Has the Soul Ring to cover. So there's less pressure onto these water runes.
PMA.
There's going to be a lot of play there.
A chase on a PMA He's going to be all right. Zayat's also dropping pretty low, but will also be able to survive through it. Now, going back to that mid lane for a sec, though, that could be really scary for Xtreme now. Like, Niku finding first blood already. Like you said, Soul rips up, Soul rings up, so he can just have infinite mana.
It's kind of crazy as well. He gets complete water rune control.
He got both of them?
Yeah, I mean, he gets to control all the runes. They have the 2 wards on mid, whereas you have the 1 ward on the ramp, but you have some good access points here to play on the Undying to get that sustain on the resources. And that's something the Kunkka can't afford. Right? Like, you don't necessarily want these runes, sure, on XM, but giving the Undying access to just having more decay, having more flesh rip, soul rip kind of on hand is not what you kind of want to see. They haven't been able to build up as much stacks, so you don't have that flash farm potential here for the mid Undying, but that power spike at level 6 into level 7, 8 is starting to ramp up, and if you get a good rune at 6, say a haste or a shield, you're going to be able to dive quite hard here.
Oh, absolutely. It's like XXS. Xingqiu going to try and cut the wave. Xingqiu going to ensure Riddies is going to be in a bit of danger now. Has got the juice, going to intervene, but rebound is going to be there, and Riddies, no aphotic shield available, will go down, has now got the juice. Going to be dived with double iron shells. This is a very painful experience. They'll try to TP some heroes in to help out. It might be too late though. Zayat is there. Xingqiu's going to drop. Got the juice. He'll go for the fight now, and XXS doesn't want to be here any longer. But can he get away? It doesn't seem like it. Glimpse him back. A very nice TP from Zayat to save the day, as they will try to at least take down PMA, but they won't even find that. Big deal now for the side of NAVI.
And it is. They get some good punishment for the deeper dive. XXS was pretty conservative on his surge. It was off cooldown. I don't think he recognized that the glimpse was used as the TP was in.
Oh, risky play there from PMA. Committing the swashbuckle for a few creeps, but it's going to cost his own life as Ame happily takes that for himself.
Yeah, it's that easy setup we were talking about, right? Nightmare in a few raises, very easy to kill. You saw that commitment for the TP down bot, so you have a lot of room to kind of play around on that. A little bit of a movement onto mid. They do get the haste rune up on Xingqiu at the least, so you won't see that deep dive coming out from Niku. But again, this Undying has kind of achieved what it wants. You're holding back mid. XM's not really free to go wherever he wants. There's no kill threat onto the Undying, so a rotation onto mid is somewhat futile to clump up like a Marcy plus Kunkka together. A double melee into decay is just not a pleasant time. And again, the one thing for you here on Xtreme is that the stacks haven't been built up to a huge amount. There are a couple of double stacks now in the triangle. You didn't manage to get those blocks with Paulson, but your mid lane is static. So even though the Undying's kind of stuck there, your Kunkka's stuck there as well, and that leaves some wiggle room out for Navi to kind of try to play other lanes. They get a bit of a deep rotation out here with Riddies up top, gonna gate back down bot, and just kind of work on the farm. So far, the build-up for Navi has been pretty clean. Again, got the juice. He has been under some pressure, not enough to cut him off. You are still having a little bit of a better time on Ame, which is what you'd want to see. When you've got that SF safe lane, this hero feels like it's very key to maintain that momentum.
Yeah.
The Mask of Madness Dragonlance build into maybe a hybrid magic build is sometimes what we see on the pause one. Maybe you just go full damage with a Crystalist Daedalus as well, or a Hurricane Pike somewhere in that order. And once you get that timing, that tempo up, you start to have more levels and presence of the Dark Lord. You get a kill or two. You start to have that lasting presence kick in, easier to wipe out more heroes. Mid.
XM, he throws the boat out to try and survive this, and thankfully for him, Zayat's not going to be within range to get the glimpse off, so he does make it out. But this tier 1 tower already under siege here from Niku. And this is something we have seen from this man before. Like he is just devastating on this mid Undying. As bottom lane, 3 heroes around. XG don't want to be here any longer, though, as Xingqiu will stand behind and tank the gank for his side. Niku not going to be able to catch up with anyone else, though he might go top, and he will.
Ooh.
He will run out of Flesh Golem pretty soon, but he'll think better of it. Fair enough. I thought maybe you still try for Ame anyway, but I guess without the Flesh Golem, probably not worth the risk.
Probably not. You don't have 6 as well just yet on PMA, so you don't have that setup to just run down the SF quite safely with TP points on hand. In fact, up top,
Xingqiu, nice rebound in, dispose out as well, and PMA going to end up going down pretty damn easily. It's a very devastating combination that Xingqiu and Ame SF Marcy. Very easy to land all 3 raises with the setup of the Marcy, so going to be ultra careful if you are anyone around these 2.
Yeah, and that's the one concern. Again, that timing for the SF, that's where a lot of this tempo out from Xtreme Gaming kind of lies. Yeah, you know, Vac Wall's going to be nice, the Aura's going to be nice as well, but the connection you want with your Kunkka is actually with the Shadow Fiend, because he is a lot of early burst. and you have to kind of ensure that snowball scaling is there, and it is kind of there for Ame. His lane, again, hasn't been contested too hard. He's finding that farm, and he is getting a couple of kills here and there. For NAVI, they have been very consistent with his pressure on mid. Again, after that movement down bot, straight back to mid for Niku, 2 supports to back him up. Some very forward TPs, though.
They are going to try again. Niku, he's going to drop a quick tombstone out, but it's only level 1, and he's not going to really be able to survive unless he can get the decay off, but he cannot. They'll still fight around the tombstone, though. Xingqiu will get caught. Still a good fight for Xtreme Gaming. They'll also find Polison. XM's hanging around. Polison looks like he's going to be just fine, as now Xtreme, they might think about continuing, but Niku's already back with that innate ability. Just instant respawn here for Niku. And that's kind of another devastating thing about these core Undyings. If they have that innate available, you just don't need you basically have a free buyback, and then you have a buyback.
Yeah, it's just, it's like the old days when you had to respawn talent back up. Undying would literally just be back up every single time. Kind of the same thing with the innate. A nice clear on the mid, and I think that actually raises a good point for later on. It feels like Undying could be a very good travels carrier in the late game. Not something you normally see, but if the game goes to, say, 40-45 minutes and the map's kind of open, could be something to consider. Whether or not the game goes that long for Nuku, though, depends. Their lineup can be quite quick as well. You are hitting those initial timings up on Got the Juice. Dragonlance up. Desolator not too far off for at least one Mithril Hammer up.
Oh, instant TPs up at the top lane once they see the Nightmare onto PMA. No messing around, NAVI at least bringing Riddies over to ensure he does remain safe on this Pangolier. Ame still sitting at the top of the net worth board on the SF, having a great old time. He'll get started on these ancient stacks very early, as you can do so with the SF. As for NAVI, they are hunting. XM currently being chased by Niku. You have the glimpse back here from Zayats. XM not very happy with this position, but he can do nothing as he tries for a quick TP out. Fair enough, maybe a bit of a panic TP, maybe a bit of a misclick, but doesn't work out for it.
Not quite. It's going to cost him 50 seconds on the respawn where he's not going to be able to just go back to an area of the map and farm. So a little bit of efficiency loss there along with the kill for NAVI, feeling great. And again, all of this movement is very far away from where Got the Juice is farming. This TA has been uncontested, keeping pace with Ame, who has a couple of kills under his belt. And it feels like this TA versus SF timing is where a lot of your planning has to come into, right? Because the TA can also get into action very early as they're starting to set up bot.
Oh, they love Ame. Look at the damage output from Niku. And the zombies are chasing him. Jeez. Ame needs to pop the Requiem, but it might be too late. He's running. 30 HP he'll survive on. Oh, just the damage output from Niku. It's just ridiculous.
And it is level 3 soul rep up, a couple of decays up, and it's a lot of EHP you're just blasting away on.
Xingqiu. Get out of there, sir. It's not safe. They're going to jump in. Big rebound from Xingqiu into the dispose now. They're going to try and force the fight with a big back wall as well from XXS. They've taken down Riddies. They'll try for Zayats, but they'll lose Xingqiu in the process. Meanwhile, the Fiend's Grip got the juice. He'll be saved by Niku. The Soul Rip keeps him alive. XM trying to chase, but they can't catch him. Or can they? They've got the X out. Another attempt, but they haven't got the Torrent. They'll get the Nightmare off, but got the Juice. He's still walking away as now NAVI. They might try to trade once again. PMA still dancing. Their supports will be up in a couple seconds as Niku, the Decay's stacking up now. XG, they need to get out of there. They'll throw the boat out, but Niku, he'll find the kill. Ame sticking around, but Niku's too tanky, surely, as they can't kill him. Niku still alive. Xingqiu, he'll go down as well. The Undying does not die. Not today, Jonathan. You mess with Niku, you're playing with death. That's what's happened here as Polison will get away. He will be spared by the undead man.
Man, you got to appreciate how well NAVI is playing, especially, I think PMA, you pointed this out in the lane, him taking Nightmare again forgot the Juice, buying him that space to walk away, giving him these little allowances to just scrape by and just turn around as they're by the tier 1. A little bit of an overextension out from Xtreme. They had the perfect setup as well. A big vac wall. They got everything they'd want. It was a very scattered out Static Storm, really only locking in one here from Zayats, and it was more than enough. Look at that setup. Just a beautiful vac wall catching everyone. Static Storm's completely out of position, but they just have to chase so far with all of this wiggling around. And again, PMA got a really good disruptive role to buy that space for them to just regroup a tad bit and turn it around.
Very, very interesting and impressive team fight from NAVI. I mean, Xtreme Gaming, they're just really struggling to deal with this core Undying at the moment. He's just offering too much utility. The hills, the decays, just everything. That was without Tombstone, by the way, John, that last team fight, basically. It was already gone. And well, if you're Xtreme Gaming, I'm not sure what you intend on doing, but all I know is you've probably got to sit back and relax a little bit. This is not the time to try and fight NAVI.
No. You've lost your advantage with Ame in that movement as well. He's down, number 3 net worth, not too bad. But it is setting them back for that early tempo. A bit of a chase up top.
Here we go. XXS not going to remain safe at all. They're already onto the T2 towers here, John. NAVI, they know how far ahead they are. And this is a game with the net worth. It doesn't really mean anything because the tempo, the momentum you've got on NAVI with this style of draft, it is just debilitating. They're smothering.
That it is.
They can't breathe right now, John. Xtreme. No. There's no oxygen on the map.
No, and again, the durability coming out for NAVI is really high. You have the Aphotic Shield, you've got the Soul Rip maxed out. Eventually, if you can get your Shard as well up on Niku, just more saves that you have to kind of contest with. For the side of Xtreme Gaming, we talked about this a lot with the SF yesterday.
They're going to try. Zayat should be a freebie, but his team is north of him, so maybe they can make it in time to try and trade. They'll take down Zayat. It's a nice start for Xtreme, but Paulison might be gifting them a freebie as well, though here comes Xingqiu to try and help out. Nightmare out onto PMA, but Riddies will just actually chase him down on his own as PMA now onto the low ground. Xingqiu sticking around with the Unleash, but will eventually just leave. Without the Flesh Golem, they don't want the fight. Fair enough. NAVI will allow Zayat to just die for free. But they are, I believe, still going for that T2 top tower, are they not? Well, they are trying. Xingqiu. Right, for PMA, we'll have to leave him be. And that'll be about it, I do believe.
Yeah, I mean, again, for NAVI, even though you lose Zayat, yeah, look where these fights are happening. Across the river, far away from where you're farming up here on Got the Juice. He's got the Desolator up. He's got the Blink up. The trifecta for the TA is already up and running. And you should start to expect NAVI to look for that pickoff into Roshan. And that's the big threat now for the side of Xtreme Gaming. They can't afford to give that early Rosh to a TA, but when you've got TA Undying, that objective doesn't take too long, and the fight to build into it isn't too hard to find for NAVI once they have some of these ults back up. So for the side of Xtreme, they've got to find an angle in. They've got to kind of try to get that connection with a Vac Wall plus a Torrent, both one or the other somehow. You don't need it to be perfect. Just catch maybe 2, either one support, one core. Ideally, that's the way you'd go. Get them in combination, blow them up straight up, remove some of those saves, and it starts to become easier. But NAVI is already setting up in that Rosh pit, and they're just not in position here for Xtreme.
No, absolutely not. Roshan, Tombstone dropped, of course. Should be very, very possible at the very least with these two. Got the Juice and Niku. Get the work done. Of course, Xtreme Gaming, even if they know this is happening, which they don't, but if they did, I don't think it's really well advised they try to fight. There's your scan out. Now they know for sure that Roshan is happening. But I do believe they make the better decision and just let it go. Like, you can't fight them right now.
No.
You just can't. Not with all the spells up.
Certainly not. I think if you had like a mid SF build over a safe lane SF build, that story could be different. Imagine a timing of Yashakai Blink over the Mask of Madness Dragonlance. I think it's a very different playstyle, and it also achieves very different things. It's just that the things the mid SF spellcasting does feels like it would play a little bit more into this early spike. Because Xtreme Gaming went with Ame SF instead on the physical build, they have to be patient. They have to hold back, get that build-up you'd want. We're seeing Ame queue up into a Manta and Butterfly next, having that overwhelming damage, which is going to be nice, but he needs time for that. And at the moment, again, that connection with the Kunkka plus Darkseer alone doesn't feel like it'll cut it anytime soon.
Well, Niku's going to pop the Flesh Golem. Xtreme Gaming, Paulison at the very least, running. Niku will be somewhat behind him, looking for the vision for the glimpse back, but won't get that. Xingqiu also being chased down. They just want some vision for Zayat. He's kind of out of range though anyway. He needs to catch up as they are continuing the chase. Ame is the much bigger target if they could find him, but they'll roll the wrong way. Still, they'll continue going as PMA. He's committed. Ame, he needs some help. Xtreme can't let him die like this. That's your carry.
I don't think they expected such a deep chase out. I think they expected just PMA, not anyone else to be added on. They had a TP spot on mid. They had a lot of time to try to reposition. Good punishment coming out from NAVI. And then Xtreme Gaming, I mean, we were talking about it. Ame needs time. He needs to be in safe spots to farm. The vision game coming out from NAVI is just so clean as well. Into the triangle, into that top jungle, right by the water camp. There's not much vision coming in comparison from Xtreme. They have 2 defensive wards by the river entrances near mid and their triangle. It's just not enough to watch that movement that Navi's been so good at for the past first day and now the second day as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, so far, Navi holding this advantage. Got the juice. He's getting real big now, this TA. I mean, props to Arme at the very least, still keeping on parity on the SF, but against this TA, it can be very, very scary. It's the blink in with the melt strikes. You can get deleted pretty damn fast, even as the SF. Obviously, as you've seen, John, it just has not. It feels like Arme's got so much to concentrate on as well. Like, in the middle of a fight, he's the guy that needs to deal with the tombstone. He's the guy that needs to get the damage out. He's the guy that needs to fear everyone with the Requiem. Like, it just, there's too much pressure on one guy right now, is what it feels like for Xtreme.
That it is. I think maybe he starts to get a little bit of help once that's Radiant, once that Radiance is done on XM. You know, that miss chance is going to do some good. Blocking some blinks can help out the cause, help with some of the repositional plays we're seeing from Na'Vi diving into the backline.
Paulison.
Oh.
Breaking the smoke, or rather the gank attempt. Arme thankfully did not show yet. Nice nightmare onto the cliff though. Paulison, very cheeky. I like it. See that every day. That'll force Niku to TP back to the mid-tier 2 tower. Is now Arme gonna get jumped for a second. PMA with a big rolling thunder shield crash. He found all 3 of them.
PMA, come on.
PMA. The Fiends grip him up. They'll try to salvage the fight, but it just doesn't last. Syncue in the middle. XXS is gone. And Syncue will join. They can't do anything. There is no gameplay.
No.
There's no hope.
No.
No light.
I mean, you really have to give it to PMA. This man has been on point with the Rolling Thunders and the Blinks. He got that chase on Ame. He gets the disruptiveness in this fight. He got the disruptiveness in that bot tier 1 fight as well. And he has been setting up for his team in some of these opportunities every single time. This man and his Pangolier, it just works so damn well together here for the side of Na'Vi and for Xtreme. Again, nothing changes. They need more time. They need time to build up, and we'll look again. Just the angles this man finds with that Pangolier every single time. He has the confidence to be backed up. He's playing into a Bane. He doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Does not care. You just see there's just nothing they could have done, as it looks like. Side of Xtreme, I mean, at the very least, they're only AK behind. It's just the momentum you've got to find a way to slow down, because right now, Na'Vi are just taking everything off of this map. Xtreme, I mean, of course they have faith in the late game. They do have an SF. They've got a master that can scale. Here we go. They're going to try, but got the juice. This will be a big target if they can secure, but Riddies is there. The Vac misses as well, unfortunately. So no drag back onto got the juice.
No.
These are the kind of plays, like, it's not an easy kill. He has a secondary life anyway, but if you can find some of these kills, it could be the opening they've been looking for.
That it could be. Again, it's just difficult to look for that setup. You don't have that instant fear, instant burst damage with the SF in this kind of game. Going for this physical build, you didn't get that snowball start for Ame to just really run down and constantly look for these fights. He's switching up his build now, going for an attempt onto the Daedalus as they lose their last outer tower. I mean, even the Crystallis up can kind of boost your DPS by a huge amount. Whether or not that timing can come in now is the question. Again, whether or not you can actually kill anyone because of that durability. The shield crash with a shield on it, a Photic shield. You've got the Soul Rip that's been doing a lot of work. You still have this potential for the Shard. Again, for Nico, if you'd want it, he's just going straight to the Yags. So again, the EHP starts to disappear. Every single point of armor you take out here with your TA feels even more effective with less HP to eat through. It just becomes an easier game at this point for Na'Vi. For Xtreme, I mean, it just needs so much time. They've got that Radiance up on XM. A little bit of that burn going through the TA shield is nice. The mischance is nice. Blocking the blinks is the big one. So it might be harder for PMA to look for the angles in.
XXS, don't go on the low ground, sir. Don't do it. He won't. Zayats won't have the vision for the glimpse. They're hunting, though. There's just no need to slow down. You have a Crimson Guard on XXS now. That will help the cause. May glimpse back. Nice man to dodge, though. It's just so scary for this poor SF. It's just on edge at all times. And again, the map, just none of it belongs to them.
No.
None of it. They took everything.
No. I mean, they haven't crossed back into their side of the river for Na'Vi in a long time now. At least 5-6 minutes at this point straight. Just into that side of XM's map and of Xtreme Gaming's map, and they just have no way of getting outside even the high ground. A little bit of a smoke out from NAVI. They've got the forward vision to sustain.
They got the Daedalus and got the juice though, John.
Oof.
This could be a pretty horrible time, though he's not there with his team. At the very least, they don't have the TA. This could be the fight. Though a nice blink, Niku. He avoids the X-Torrent play. And now got the juice is coming. He's in the mid lane.
Oh, no.
Niku, he's gonna put the flesh golem Sorip as well. He's not dying.
There's
Tombstone
no
out
way.
as well. They can't kill him. They can't kill him. He is alive. Here comes got the juice. And that's all she wrote, I think, is the back wall. XXS still trying to salvage his team fight. It's not looking good though. Sincure jumping back in. Got the juice. Still dropping low, but look at that damage.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
That sustain is just so high. The soul rips coming in, the shield's coming out.
Oh, Niku's not done. How's it going? Paulson almost dying. Not quite, but here comes got the juice.
Oh.
Arme. Requiem wasted. Very nice Hurricane Pike usage there from got the juice. Just a little value plays. Just we want a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah, and they've been so good at pushing that envelope here on the side of NAVI. Again, we saw this yesterday in their series. We're seeing it today again. The way this team works as a unit is just so darn good. And for the side of Xtreme, silver linings for them, they didn't really lose as much as you'd expect. They were the aggressors. They don't find as much as they'd want either, which is a very big downside for them. Finding a kill on Zayats is nice. You kind of need, you know, it's at that point of the game here, Mike, where you have to kind of just take these soft kills on these softer supports. Try to kill the Disruptor, try to kill the Abaddon if they're solo, if they're getting greedy, and kind of feed off of that for like 5 more minutes. Get that recovery you'd want. Get a BKB up on Ame, and try to hope for the best at that point. It's just, again, whether or not NAVI gives those openings again, who knows? I mean, they've been playing very clean. They're going to be waiting for next Roshan, not too far off, based on the clock timer that's showing up. We'll see. But if you give that control to NAVI once more, your high ground is just going to be completely exposed here for the side of Xtreme Gaming.
XXS. Zayats. Gonna find him. XXS. Can he get out? Do they keep the vision? They do. Glimpse back. Zayats. Another nice glimpse, and XXS, I mean, he's bought a bit of time for himself, but not enough time, as PMA will secure another kill for himself, and I think it might just be high ground time. Even without the Aegis, they've got no darks here. NAVI, they will indeed start once again onto the high ground. XM does now pick up a BKB. That could be pretty damn useful for the team fight. How useful, though, I don't know. They'll try to slow this down and buy some time for at least XXS to be back up before they try to force a fight. Got the juice, going to be perfectly fine with Riddy's right behind him. X out, onto the TA. Torrent will connect. Refraction back up though. Got the juice, he'll take the tier 3. And the rest of NAVI, they'll see XXS respawning and they'll leave the area immediately.
Yeah, but again, it's still the same story here for NAVI. They're just not crossing back. They're giving no breathing room out for Xtreme Gaming to try to play a farm game. It's just constant pressure coming in. Only Ame getting that consistent build-up, and he's very severely behind now in comparison to Got the Juice. A 7k difference coming out for these two cores. Ooh. And he is going back for the Butterfly again. So not going for the Daedalus. They need to take a fight outside. Again, even a small pickoff would be good, but that position from Zayats.
Well, they've got a BKB on Ame. That's why they want to play this fight. BKB, though, comes out for Got the Juice as well. They haven't seen that at the moment for NAVI or XG. Here we go. Rolling Thunder pop. PMA misses initially, but the rebound. Xingqiu gets connected by the Rolling Thunder. They'll find Zayats. A Fiend Rip holding down PMA. It's looking good, but Niku, he heals him up again. A vac wall, though. XX still trying. They are still trying to just get through Niku on this Undying, but it's just not working out. They can't do it. There goes Ame. Got the juice. Cleaning up everybody here in the mid lane. They will look to try and retreat now. XM and XXS. They will leave. A 3 for 3. Not really too bad at all for Xtreme, but they did give up Ame.
They gave up Ame a bit. They get a lot more. 2.8k going their way versus 1.2, just because they found PMA. When we're talking about the impact of that Pango, this fight was a little bit more scattered. I figured they got a lot of value from that positioning out from Zayats. He broke the smoke on the cliff, and then their position here on their triangle, maybe not the ideal. The initial blink coming out from PMA didn't quite catch. Quick BKB reflexes out on Ame as the Static Storm came in as well. Just prevented them from finding that opening, and once you got that disconnection, once PMA was just a little bit too far out, a bit harder to get the save on from the grid, it became a lot harder. This time it was kind of Na'Vi forced to push into the stronghold of Xtreme, as we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, poor old Ame, like, he was just standing on the high ground doing so much damage, but once the juice got involved, it's just too much. Like, look at that meld strike, taking out half his HP on the SF immediately. Very painful experience there for Ame. And, well, again, props to them. They at least kind of even out the fight. Xtreme showing signs of life here in this game one. NAVI looking for another Roshan attempt. There will be no contest. Another freebie.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait on Xtreme. Your high ground can be strong. If they can connect all of these spells, there's a lot of AoE control that can kick in. They just need to find an opening. They need to find a way to drag Na'Vi further out than they're normally comfy at. Take these heroes further away from the Abaddon, further away from the Undying for these heals and these shields and these dispels on hand, and you can start to have a little bit of a game. Mind you, if you do take a prolonged fight, now that you have the full Ags up on Niku, and the damage that comes in, you're going to be so squishy. -8 strength every single time. You spam that decay out every 4 seconds. You can't underestimate how much EHP you start to lose. It's a lot. It's even worse than just more minus armor, because HP is your bread and butter. That is your hero's actual stat that matters. So you have a lot going for you, Na'Vi, to just play that aggression now. Good job on cuts here from Xtreme Gaming, forcing in the bot lane quite hard. Navi's going to have to look to repair, give them some time to try to play. They've got some space to just get a little bit of that build up on Ame. Still working onto that butterfly.
What did XM want? He was sending the courier out to the secret shop. What was he? Looks like the AC. Trying to get some components maybe.
Yeah, get that build up. Already has a Hyperstone. Maybe try, yeah, he had enough gold to buy out the plate mail. Okay. So it's going to be stalled out a bit. That armor would have gone a long way here, but it's going to have to wait. A little bit interesting that he prioritizes the Hyperstone. Some damage, I guess he feels like he needs to try to give out over that durability first. They do correct the bottom lane. Again, there's some space for Xtreme Gaming to play that form. It's not going to be enough time to get that full butterfly out on Ame, nor will it be enough time for the courier to respawn to kind of build into that AC. And you don't have that much more durability coming in. Like, we've had the Guardian Greaves and the Crimson Guard for a while now on XXS. Doesn't have enough yet for the Blink or the BKB just yet. Not too far at the very least.
Xtreme still sticking by their base. Another 3-man smoke now from Na'Vi. Keep in mind they have plenty of time on this Aegis. Do want to find a way to approach that high ground while this Aegis is still running. Because Xtreme know this very well. They'll be hanging about, ensuring they give no pickoffs. And Na'Vi, though, they don't mind. They're still approaching that mid-tier 3 tower. They don't really have a creep wave top, so they won't try that. Roshan banner's going to be dropped as well. Xtreme. How do we defend this one? The glyph will be forced. Blink now up on XXS, so they've got the setup with the Darkseid. Got the juice, not really flinching. XM will start with the X into the torrent. Refraction is down. They could try to jump in. Paulison, though, gonna get scouted and deleted. 2 shots. Where'd Paulison go? X out. Torrent is out. Burn through the refraction again. Got the juice, could not give a crap, though. He's just destroying them, even just after going their axes. Got the juice. Uncontested. Ame's gonna try again. Get through the refraction, they say. Rebound is in. Xingqiu will commit now, but got the juice. Look at the damage. There goes Xingqiu. No buyback for him on the Marcy. XM still trying to dance around this TA. Na'Vi, they're not backing. They've still got the Aegis. Another minute and a half on that. Still the free reset.
Yeah, they haven't expended anything. They still have a roll. They still have a Flush Golem, Static Storm. Like, there's nothing forced out just yet from the side of Xtreme. They already had to buy back on Paulson. They need to find a backline somehow. It needs to be that opening out from XXS with that Blink. It has to be the back wall into more. If they can find an angle out, it's just so difficult to see how that angle kind of pans out here. For the side of Xtreme, you're playing into traps. You're playing into, again, this 21k deficit that Na'Vi has an advantage on. They have so much durability, looking for the backline saves, the frontline tanks. Very difficult task for the side of Xtreme. And your damage is stuck on an SF who did finish the butterfly, is going back for the Daedalus now on Ame, but he has no way of getting into that fight easily because, again, it's a safe lane SF. It's not the blink build-up with Ags. It's not the control build. So starting these fights, again, it's a lot of pressure on the Darkseer here, and the Darkseer alone running up may not be enough, even with some connections in the Marcy.
It has been very challenging. Certainly feeling like a pretty impossible game here for Arme. Don't really blame him. It's just you don't really have any good options against this draft of NAVI with this carry SF. It's been very challenging. NAVI 1 racks away from securing Megas, but they're going to sit back and relax. Aegis going in about 10 seconds. Xtreme Gaming, they're going to smoke up as 4. They'll go with that XXS for now. Keep in mind, Zayat did just get the Ags, so that's going to be a little bit scary. See if he can land a nice static storm here. Even on 1, it'd just be massive. They could find Arme without his BKB popped. It would be very problematic. Niku, that's not the guy you want to run into right now.
Oh.
Shards up as well here for Niku. They're going to run right into him.
No.
Oh, the static storm to lock him in. It couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse. Arme, though, he pops the BKB. He's going to have to try and fight back. Niku is dropping low. Arme with the man fight. Can he do it? Niku healing up, but he cannot survive. They've got him down. Arme can't get the Requiem in time, though. He'll go down. PMA still chasing XXS. Gets the purge off. XXS trying to run. Can't do it. He'll drop. XM. Poor old XM.
Oh.
What can he do? Oh, you couldn't have gotten more unlucky. You couldn't have gotten more unlucky for Xtreme Gaming.
They could have gotten more unlucky if Got the Juice was actually in that fight early. Like, that was with him across the map up top. He wasn't even there to do the damage. They just ran in. Just the Undying, just the Pangolier and the Static Storm is already an issue, and that's without the damage dealer on hand. Got the Juice comes in to clean up, and they clean up, well, no buybacks in Xtreme. This is just going to be straight Megas, maybe the end of the game. I don't see what you do now with so much time left for the respawns.
There's no buybacks. What are you going to do? It's happy death time. That's your option. Do you want to happily defend against Megas?
I don't think there's going to be much to def. I don't think Navi pulls back. They should know.
They're going. They're committed. Tier 4 towers. Going to be going down very quickly as Riddies. Just voice line them while they're at it. Let them know. Xtreme, they'll have one last team fight available to them. Got the juice. Tier 4 tower, the secondary going down. Now a refresh orb available on PMA. Very scary indeed. It's Xtreme trying to set up, but it's very hard with that XM. Hollison already getting stunned up here by PMA, and Xingqiu gets deleted immediately. Arme trying, go to the fountain, Arme. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. GG. NAVI with Jonathan. I mean, I'll tell you what.
We've watched this man play a lot of PL. He knows how PL works. The thing is this a good PL game? He said the counters don't feel as good with the Ags build-up. Question is, are you going to go for that Ags on Ame? He is queuing it up.
He's queued.
He's got the idea. He's got the assignment. He talked to BSJ before. So if it works out, he's fully, he knows his stuff. Yeah. Good old Brian. But
what's the
I'm
promo
not sure.
code?
Promo code BSJ.
Thank you,
Of
John.
course. And I don't know, like, you look on paper, it's a Leshrac, it's an Axe, it can be kind of annoying for the PL to an extent. The Mjolnir build pointed out here for Got the Juice could be quite amazing as well in the TA. So you have a lot of options to handle it on Na'Vi. The big thing is, will they get the same lane outcome, right? Because you're playing into the Dawnbreaker now as a TA. That can be a little bit more annoying. XXS should have a little bit more presence. And with PL and Dazzle, there is a lot of heal bombing that can go on here.
Well, they're going to try for Riddies. Could be a quick first blood to come out as Riddies. Aquatic shield out, not going to make any form of a difference, and Got the Juice. Came in for this as well. PMA will intervene. Lightning Storm out from Niku, so they're going to find at least some form of a trade for Paulison. Paulison will go down, Niku to take that kill. First blood, though, still being drawn by Xtreme.
Yeah, and you're more than happy, of course, to just pick that up. You get the little bit of a bonus, a little bit more EXP coming out for Xingqiu as well, building up there to work that lane. And I have to say, this lane as well, this lane combination, you and I first saw it when, when I believe it was TSM with Saberlight on it, and they ran this and it looked amazing. Having the tag team, having the shards, getting that chase down with the Dawnbreaker, with the Starbreaker out, and the Celestial Hammer. This is not an easy lane later on for Got the Juice once they can get that gap closing in. So Riddies is going to have to do some work to get that spacing. On mid, we do finally get XM on that Shadow Fiend up against a Leshrac. And this time around, the mid Shadow Fiend, you've got Shadowmire, there's a lot more presence. You're going to go for the Yashakaya in lane up against Alesh. This is manageable. This is a lane matchup you don't see too often nowadays. But the SF can kind of clear out the wave, pressure a bit. Same thing goes, of course, for Niku. So it shouldn't be a complete washout lane. Rune control is going to be a big aspect, though, and that's where it gets interesting. There's an argument to go in, especially for the 4-minute water rune. You want that control. We saw in the last game where Niku had complete rune control. You cannot allow that this time around here for XM.
You cannot. Absolutely not. We'll see how they do. 1-to-1 so far. Top lane, you're seeing Arme and Paulson. We'll see how much they can really abuse this bottom lane. Got the juice again being drumped by this duo of XXS and SyncQ, but they will not secure. Thing is, as these levels do come up on XXS, this lane does start to feel very intimidating if you are NAVI.
Yeah, you've got to be so careful. Again, double melee as well is mildly awkward for TA. Got the juice, handled it quite fine last game. But this time it's much more aggressive. You know, they're not looking to stand back. They are looking for opportunities to run in. Level 2 is already up on SyncQ as well. So again, once you get that entrapment with the shards, plus a Celestial Hammer and Starbreaker, it's a ton of output. With a tag team going, you have to respect that. You have to watch your spacing. Riddies has to always be ready with a little bit of a heal or the Aphotic Shield to try to buy some time for Got the Juice. And so far, at least in terms of CS, Got the Juice isn't completely bullied out, but certainly a lot better here for XXS. 11-2, taking complete control of the lane. And having that early build up for the Dawnbreaker is going to be massive. You know, just the phase boots timing alone with a right-click bonus you have can just kind of eat all these early heroes.
The Juice in big trouble. Refraction charges are gone, and they've got him this time. SyncQ, beautiful setup here on the Tusk. XXS with the follow-up, and again, this lane, it should not be getting any easier as time goes on for this TA.
No, it's going to be the challenging one. It's going to be the hardest one for Navi to kind of deal with. And this is not going to be the same game for Got the Juice in comparison to Game 1. Up top as well is where it's a little bit interesting. You've got that Phantom Lancer with a Lancelot. You've got that little bit of damage coming out, of course, with the Spirit Lances from the Illusions, having that Ags build up with a Phantom Rush with a range, and having this combination with the Dazzle can be massive. Not going to matter too much early on, of course, but you are going to be able to get some good output later on. And for laning-wise, Ame's been doing pretty fine. PMA has pretty much been free farming to be expected for the Axe, but it's not going to be a high threat lane. At the least, you can count on Ame having a stable laning start, getting that build up on the Phantom Lancer.
SyncQ once again, killing spree already for the Tuskers. Now Riddies copying that duo. Got the Juice. He's going to be able to stick around and feel safe for a little bit while these spells are on cooldown, but SyncQ coming into Game 2 with a vengeance, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, again, last game wasn't the hottest thing coming out there for Xtreme. SyncQ on his special, one of the things he's been most comfy with, something that can play make, and he gets a timing for the 4-minute swing as well. So much better on rune control, at least a 1-for-1 on the water runes. No shenanigans out from Navi to deny one away from XM, and that does mean that there's more play on the mid for the SF, who has been having a good time. You're starting to lag a little bit behind here for Niku. You know, he's not snowballing out of control. He does hold onto his skill points as well. Level 4 holding onto the 2 points in Lightning Storm, seeing what he can get away with, whether or not he'd need a misanthropy or he'll need a stun, and does leave it does leave more wiggle room, more play for XM, because there's no threat just yet on this Lush.
Not yet. And Niku definitely wanting to keep his options open here just in case he finds an opening, but it's going to be very hard to close the gap here against this SF, and XM again ensuring as well that he's going to have a very good lane for himself in this game number 2. Niku, though, not doing too bad, but certainly falling a little bit behind XM. And keep in mind, XM last game round, he basically had the jungle at level 3. So this is going to be an actual game for this SF, it feels like.
And it is. And again, with that build-up into the Yashakaya that we're expecting, the Ags, the Blink BKB, a lot of control is coming out here for the side of Xtreme Gaming on this Shadow Feed in comparison to just raw damage in the last game. And that kind of ties in together very nicely with their draft. You want to buy space for the PL to just Phantom Rush around, get some Spirit Lances off as well. You want to be able to get the good Solar Guardian down.
The Juice again. Look at the damage. Look at the control. Xtreme Gaming, unrelenting down to this bottom lane. Got the Juice down another time. Is it time to just jungle? Like, what do you do here for Got the Juice?
I mean, he's running out of options. He's still level 3 in the TA. It's going to be a slow process in that jungle, but something has to change. This is not tenable for the Templar Assassin. And again, this is going to be a very slow game in comparison to that timing we saw in Game 1 for the Dragon.
Now they're going again. Riddies is going to die. They don't know Polison's here, though. Got the Juice. He can't keep going like this. Here comes Polison. They had no idea. Poison Touch is going to land. Xingqiu dropping low, but XXS is going to be there and got the juice. He just TP'd back. Oh, it's the walk of shame for Got the Juice.
Oh, no.
Walk of shame time. Zayat, he will show up, but it's all too late. And I ask you the question I just asked you. Is it time to jungle?
Yes, 100%. Just go jungle. There's nothing to do. Take the smaller camps, take it slow, maybe get some regen on, soak some EXP. But this lane, you just can't walk up to it. And again, this is something we saw back when the DPC was around, back when TSM was in North America.
They're not stopping, John. Zayat's gonna go down. I mean, this bottom lane's off limits. I mean, you may as well put some tape there and just say that this is, you can't.
No.
Don't enter.
And the worst part about this bot lane is that not only are you finding kills bot, top lane's uncontested. Right? Like, this is Ame with no supports. He's having that build up into the Ags. He's already got enough for one component in, uncontested top CS in that Phantom Lancer. All the things BSJ was talking about, all the things Brian was talking about, it's lining up. This Ags time is going to be on point. And you're going to have issues into this Phantom Lancer. Whether or not this Leshrac answer is going to be enough, your timing on Mjolnir here for the TA, it's a little bit of a pipe dream if you even want to go for it at this point. So there is a worrying timing lining up for Xtreme Gaming. 7 minutes in, already finding that bot tier 1, already a 4K lead. Xtreme Gaming kind of woke up after that game 1 here, Mike.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder what Zhao 8 told them after that game 1. Yeah, he walked past us, Johnny did not look happy.
No.
Did not look happy.
No.
Obviously, he had a few words for the boys.
And he did, and it looked like it worked. I mean, this is just a overwhelmingly crushed lanes from Navi across the board. The mid lane's the most even one, which you'd expect. The fact that XM has just, again, not been contested in rune control, and getting what he wants, just slowly shoving in onto mid. There's no pressure from Galesh anytime soon, and there's no rotations that can really open up here for Niku to connect with. It's concerning, because now you have to kind of wait for with Navi's draft. You need Blink up, a Vanguard or a Blade Mail up on PMA, plus the Blink to really be effective on the Axe. You still at least have your stacks, as long as you hold on to that tier 1 mid, which is already less than half HP. You're going to have to clear this one out fast.
Yeah, it's the wrong team clearing it out fast here, John. Xtreme is here. Xingqiu spots all this out. Keep in mind, props to Xingqiu, he's been involved in all 7 kills thus far on this task. 4-0-3 is the scoreline of this support task right now. And he's found himself some very nice farm for XM. Navi, they know it's happening, but there is zero they could possibly do about it.
And again, they just kind of have to wait at this point. Their lane's, again, completely gone. They have to wait for these timings on items. Maybe even just the Blade Mail on Axe could be enough. Even then, I doubt it without something like a Blink. And they're just hunting.
Yeah, I mean, they are. He gets the Walrus Punch. He gets the Snowball. There's no glimpsing here for Xingqiu. Maybe he'll die for the first time, though. PMA will come in, call him back. He's worth a lot of gold here, boys, but they've got nobody. Nobody's here.
No. They're not confident enough to throw their cores in. You know, again, without the Blink on Axe, how do you find an angle?
That courier might cost you, Niku. That courier might cost you, Niku. Shards off the mark, though. He'll run the right way.
There's just so much pressure right now on Na'Vi. Right, again, you lose your recovery stacks. You're having to jungle with your Axe and your TA. No one's ready to play. You have no good connections to make with your Lesh.
Oh, boy.
You're losing your mid. Triangle control disappears. Forward bot jungle control starts to disappear as well.
Xingqiu, look at him, John. Look, you can feel it. He's upset, Xingqiu.
He is sneaky.
He's upset. Walrus punches out. Solar Guide set up the shards to block Niku in. Snowball as well, so there's just no damage coming as they take him down. XX is to take one. They're going to try and force the fight. PMA trying to go for a call, but he's missed out on the opportunity. And if I may, at this stage of the game, like, yes, you're losing your mid-tier 1 tower, but I think as PMA, you've got to just farm, because this Axe, the Axe feels like the only way back into this game at this point.
It is.
You need the Blade Mail Blink. There's no two ways about it. Unless I see that from PMA, this game is all Xtreme.
Yeah, he's got to just be patient. He's the one that needs to sit back and farm. And, you know, secondarily, all the free space for Got the Juice as well down bot while it's protected. But it's this timing on the Axe that kind of gives you an angle back into the game. While we're talking about that, though, I mean, I want to go back to the strengths of Xtreme Gaming. Ame's been free farming this entire time.
Yeah.
Like, he's 2 parts away, basically 1 part away now with the gold he has for that full Ags. Brian's going to be so happy in that Green Rune, because this could be the game where PL attacked. We saw some PL yesterday. We didn't see the Ags build up. And, you know, in that game, SF kind of carried. But here I can see the impact on the PL with this timing. it could be devastating for Na'Vi. It's just, again, they're not fully ready just yet.
XM's got the perfect rune for this opportunity as well. PMA, does he have an idea? I don't think he does, but he doesn't want to be here anyway. They'll make the jump in. No Requiem necessary yet. A nice static storm from Zayats, but the chase will continue though. PMA with a nice call out, but it's just not going to make the difference because they glimpse them back. PMA, no, he misses the dunk. Oh, he misses the dunk. He might still get XM, and he does do so. But in the meantime, got the juice will die. XXS looked like he just soloed him.
Yeah, just finds that angle down bot, knows that the TA hasn't shown up in a while, and you'll take that kind of trade. It's still decent for Na'Vi. You don't get the XP out for PMA, but you find something.
He needs the gold.
That's his full blade mail,
He needs
right?
the gold.
Yeah, the gold's so important. Blade mail's up, just needs the blink. But the fact that your TA is just not finding that space, the Dragon Lance isn't even done, forgot the juice. Compare that to game one, where at this point you've got the Dragon Lance, you've got at least enough gold for the one Mithril Hammer. It's such a different game now for our TA here in game number 2 of Na'Vi up against Xtreme Gaming. And for the side of Xtreme, again, they've got this 5k lead. They've got the Ags flying up for Ame. They've got the Yasha almost done here. You're not even at the breaking point with Yasha Kaya yet on XM. And this aggression just doesn't stop. Even the Ags rush as well that you tend to see on the Dawnbreaker being built into here for XSS with a full blade mail up. Just so many things you have to be concerned about. And now again, with that Phantom Rush ready to go, with that longer distance and the collision and the additional illusions you create, there's a huge potential for a Shadow Wave bomb to come in every time he Phantom Rushes in. Someone's just going to die.
Absolutely. It's going to be devastating here for the side of Na'Vi to try and deal with. Disgusting. Disgusting.
It's a huge army.
Oh, it's an army, all right.
Can you imagine if you rush into a lot of things and it's like it's just going to lag you out?
Yeah. Readies. Looks like he's going nowhere. Syncue right behind him. Snowball ready, just in case the TP comes out. It will not. Got the juice. Don't even think about it, so get out of it. Don't even think about it.
No. Just farm. Just get that build up. They've got a little bit of smoke out. Niku and Zayats together, but they should just stick and farm. They're just using it to clear out some camps. Bot jungle already being invaded out by this Phantom Lancer, and I'm just so curious to see how much Ame does with that Lancelot plus the Ags. It can be devastating. We'll go for a nice cheeky play across the map with a gate. And PMA is not the hero you'd want to lose right now on Na'Vi, with him being so close to the blink. Does have the game sense to back off, but there's just nowhere to play. Right? What do you do now on Na'Vi? Blink already up in SimQ.
Zayat's going to get caught. Looks like another freebie here for Xtreme Gaming as XM. Going to be able to take that one. SimQ. Oh, hey, this man's literally set up everything. He's been missed out on 1 kill. 12 out of 13, John.
He's just been on fire. Like, he's been on point from that first blood movement into how he played the lane, into how he tied in with that Dawnbreaker that, again, we were talking about. This is tech that Saberlight played on TSM a few years back, and we never saw it much.
No.
Right? It looked amazing in that game. No one ever touched it again, and now it's coming back in. And if you can get away with a game like this, the lane, it's just not something you can sustain. You're taking some space across the map right now. Niku is clearing out some of those stacks on the opposite triangle, getting some of that gold, has the Kaya up, so there's some output now on our Lesh into the Kaya Sanj at the very least, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough yet.
If they can line it up, right, like even just the Kaya, if they line it up with PMA's Blink Blade Mail, which it is going to come up pretty soon, I think you can hope for a big smoke, but you're going to be playing without a TA. It's going to have to be only 4 going in for that smoke, and I think it's possible with a nice call setup. You can certainly blow people up pretty quick, which is something Xtreme are going to have to be extremely careful of once those items are up. But for now, Xtreme, I mean, they're just looking happy as Larry. Yeah, you really can't complain if you're Xtreme Gaming at the moment. Again, the one threat is going to be this Axe, who now has the blink, but I think you might want to wait for the Kaya Sanj of the Lesh.
That you would. Who's Larry, Mike? Why is he happy?
Well, John, you know, we had a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is where it's from. It's an Australian saying,
okay.
Happy as Larry, right?
Okay.
We had a guy that used to host the show Prices Right. His name was Larry. Yeah. And he was always happy. Well,
okay.
Not any, I mean, look, I don't want to go into it, John. He had a bit of a rough end to the... Anyway, don't worry about it, John. We won't go into that.
He was happy, sure.
He was happy for a while.
Interesting. Good to know. I was so curious. Am I missing some contacts? Have I been casting with a third person I don't know about all this time?
I wish we had a Larry, John. I'd leave you straight away for Larry. XM getting caught. This is what I'm talking about. This is where things get scary as they blink into the static storm. The call misses though from PMA, but they can still keep this fight going. Solar Guardian in. PMA in big trouble. Pops the blade mail, trying to survive, but will go down. but it's still a pretty good fight if you're NAVI, if you can get out of here. And it seems like they will. An even trade 1-to-1, but XM definitely more valuable right now than, say, the Axe.
That he is, and that's the big blink reveal that you were talking about there for PMA, and that's the difference maker. They actually have some way to initiate now on the side of NAVI. They have a way of setting up for these fights. And that gold swing is positive for the side of NAVI, even though, again, you lose a hero yourself. It's a straight gain for every single hero participating, even just a little bit of a touch. So that's what they need to do. Isolate out Xtreme Gaming, use this blink call, try to find some good kills, and kind of rinse and repeat. Don't force the big fight. If you can take care of the SF before Requiem comes in, you are good as gold. Just need to be patient. And they have been patient on NAVI, to be fair. They've not been giving too many openings. They've been working the map as well as they can. They've almost got that full Kaya Sanj up on Niku, so a little bit more damage, a lot more durability up front, and you are getting space out for Got the Juice. He's at the two items out of tree now. Desolator plus Dragonlance up, going for the Blink next. So no divergence for something like the Mjolnir or even the Maelstrom. Just a standard TA build. Going to be relying on that Blink call and the Leshrac to clear out the illusions, but it could be enough. It's just a matter of, can you find openings like that again? Will Xtreme, kind of give those openings to you?
I'll tell you what, John, the game, although the early game was incredibly one-sided, it's really starting to feel like a much more even affair. If you ignore the kill score, it really doesn't feel as one-sided anymore as you might think. Mind you, we haven't seen Arme really get too involved in a fight. Like, yes, he was in the mid lane one. He's not really ready quite yet, but I think these next team fights, like Xtreme, they might want to slow down themselves now. Just allow XM and Arme to just get completely out of control.
That they should. I mean, they're almost at this Ags timing up for XXS. That might allow them a little bit more aggression out with that additional duration on the Solar Guardian, on the little aura, and the quicker jump in. Could provide some opportunities for some quick kills. I think the key timing is less on Ame, more on XM. Like him getting this Blink BKB on the SF, having the Blink Requiem on hand with a Yashikaya, that's where your gameplay stands. Like the counterpoint to the Blink call. If you can get that initiation with a Fear, blow someone up, provide the pathway for Ame to kind of clean up if he wants to join the fight, then you can kind of keep in control of this game for the side of Xtreme. In fact, the Blink combination with Solar Guardian is pretty sickening from the side of Xtreme Gaming once that timing is up.
It is. Certainly is. Quiet period now. Big smoke up there from Xtreme. They'll go for a 3-man. They'll see PMA top lane, but he's by the tier 2, so they'll ignore him. Head towards the Radiant jungle. PMA is going to be in the mid lane again if they want it. But he'll back off again. Looks like he realizes something is a little bit awry here. Niku maybe doesn't. Xtreme, they're going to see Zayats and Niku, but they'd much rather the Leshrac first, so Xingqiu will jump in into the Solar Guardian as well from XXS, but the Static Storm is there to try and help out, but Niku, he's just dying too quick to the Blade Mail of XXS. That's where that the facet comes in, right? It's not very fun if you're playing against Blade Mail.
No, it certainly isn't. And you have enough sustain coming in here from that full Ags up on XXS to just sustain through it.
It's almost 1,000 damage from the Blade Mail.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like you took 1,000 damage here either on XXS, because again, he has the Ags. That healing per pulse counteracts all of that damage coming in. And again, they've got that combination. That's just the Blink on the Tusk. Imagine that with the SF. Imagine that with a Requiem to back you up on a wider fight. Things can get scary. NAVI, they are still using this time well. Again, they're 5k behind, but look at that farm distribution. You're not too far back, but got the juice in PMA. They are keeping within striking zone, within 1k gold of Ame and XXS. So you still have these timings to play with. It's a BKB coming out next for PMA. It is a BKB as well coming out here for Got the Juice. And once you do have some of that protection up, that threat from the SF starts to fade just a tad bit. They do have access to Tormentor here from Xtreme because of all the space they've got. Free Shard on Xingqiu is actually massive in this kind of game when you're playing with all of this soft control, with you having to set up for, say, the Requiem, say the Solar Guardian. That deeper Shard can kind of ruin your game here on NAVI if you're not careful.
Smoke is here for Xtreme, but there's going to be a counter smoke now from NAVI. 3-on-3 smoke, but they're running the opposite ways. It's like NAVI, they're going to head towards the top lane, whereas Xtreme, they have kind of revealed themselves smoked up down bottom with those raises from XM. Neither side going to be able to find each other as NAVI, they're just hugging the west side of the map. The Xtreme, they will venture out a little bit into the mid lane, but ultimately the smoke has worn off anyway, so it's not going to matter. I think the timings for NAVI get a little bit intimidating as well once you have these BKBs up on PMA, on your Leshrac as well of Niku. Like, that's when the blade mail doesn't matter as much anymore, and that's where I think Xtreme might need to play with maybe a bit of caution, but they're going to force the Roshan now before those items are up. And it should be a pretty free Roshan by the looks of it. I don't think NAVI can afford to defend this.
No, they've got a lot of damage coming in here, of course, for Xtreme. Just with the illusions, just having a little bit of the tag team and the healing bomb coming out.
Oh, Ame. He's going to have the heart up soon as well, John, on the PL. That's going to be a big boy.
No, I mean, the illusions are just going to be a challenge to clear at the least. Again, you have some AoE damage. There's no auras yet. You know, we're not seeing anything like a pipe to help protect. But it's still a lot of work you have to put in. Nat and these illusions do have the diffusal that Ame picked up after the Ags. So whether or not you can sustain enough damage to deal with the illusion spam remains to be seen. Heck, whether or not you can actually get your spells going with all of these illusions phantom rushing at you from 1,600 units away, who knows? It's just a lot that you have to consider. And I think for the side of Na'Vi, again, they've done a great job. The lead hasn't grown here from Xtreme Gaming. It was 5K down to 4K. You're working the map well on Na'Vi. You're #1 in net worth on Got the Juice, whose BKB is now just about 300 gold off, not too far. And that's, again, some of the keys here for Na'Vi to start to have a game. 1 BKB being done, getting the 2 others on your Axe and Lesh, which are within the same gold range now. About 700 gold for each to kind of get their completed once triple BKB timing. That's when you can maybe do some damage back to Xtreme. But again, it all depends on how these initiations happen.
I mean, the thing is, like, Niku's farm's starting to get a little bit uncontrollable. Like, he's top of the net worth board now, and mind you, it is against the PL. It's not exactly a favorable matchup for the TAs. Riddy's gonna get caught in a pretty awkward chance, but he's just gonna pop the borrowed time and TP away. We're just fine to do so. But at the very least, in terms of allowing this TA recovery, you've certainly had that happen. BKB now up. It's a matter of whether Got the Juice can find the actual PL and actually take him down. I mean, Ame's not going to make it that easy, I'll tell you what.
No, certainly not. And his timing for the heart is lining up. Just about 400 gold away for the Phantom Lancer to have that durability. And that's going to be within the timing when the triple BKBs are up. Right? Like the Leshrac BKB plus the Axe BKB are just about the same distance away. So yes, you'll have triple BKBs, but playing into these really tanky illusions of Ame might be an issue. Again, the staticness is providing a lot of room out to kind of grow on both sides. The lead has grown back to 6K for Xtreme as they are starting to take control of that bot area of the map. You do have the blink up, of course, on XM going for his own BKB, which is just about 400 gold. So again, all of these timings are lining up for each side. So there's going to be some major power spikes, and it's down to really the pressures on Na'Vi to utilize that triple BKB. If they don't manage to find good angles, if they don't manage to get good utility out as well from Blink of Zayats on the Disruptor to look for good glimpses, to look for good Kinetic Field Static Storm combinations, then again, Xtreme just have map control. Even in a static game, they're taking a free tier 2. They can start to apply pressure on mid or top. They have set forward vision out just a little bit. You have a lot of defensive wards from Na'Vi to at least cut off some aggression here. But at some point, you will have to make a play because you are still the ones being under pressure. You know, you need to find a way to force a fight, take control of the map, maybe start to look for next Roshan if you can, and that's going to be the launching point.
Niku, see Ame, and of course, does not want to borrow that. Unless his team wants to connect, but they want to go mid instead, but they're going to find XXS farming pretty deep. Call is out, double battle hunger and a big static storm, but a nice Requiem. It is there, but PMA and Got the Juice, they have the BKBs going. Still, they are trying for PMA, but he's being healed up throughout all of this. They'll continue Xtreme. They'll lose Q though. PMA somehow still alive. Will turn again onto XM, but finally goes down. As Armade now join the fight. Chases down Niku. Armade feeling pretty invincible, and I don't quite blame him for that. But he will look to retreat as they don't have the control. So it will be a support for a core trade here in the favor of Xtreme, but Q gave a pretty big streak away.
That he does, but he also managed to force out the BKB usage from all 3 cores. Like, yes, you had to pop your own BKB as well on XM, but these BKBs on Na'Vi are much more important. Again, to block off the Requiem, to block off this damage and control that is coming in. You have a little bit more of a window. You have less of BKB duration to worry about. on the side of Xtreme, and kind of pans out. You still hold on to the Aegis, the gold swing. You know, it's fairly equal considering you traded a core for a support. Very, very equal for Na'Vi, so you're still somewhat happy, but you're not very satisfied with the BKB usage. You don't manage to work the advantage in the fight, and again, you still need to find a way to take these angles, because even if you commit, there's still a Dawnbreaker that can come in.
Zayat. Nice TP away. Gonna avoid Ame altogether. The question is, how do you deal with this PL? Like, you got this Leshrac of Niku. I get it. Like, it should do some work, but Niku's not really able to just jump in and survive. No. What do you do about it?
I would say, maybe you could consider like an Ags build-up.
Yeah,
like the Nihilism,
so.
right?
I think so.
Like, just that ghost form, just to block some of that physical coming in. Buy yourself some time. Stand in the middle of these fights. There is magical damage to punish that, though. Like, if you do go into that, there is still some output here.
Ame's a bit deep. PMA, he'll get the call out. They're going to get the Doomstackers onto the stack. Storm, Ame's in trouble. Shellowgrave is out there healing him up so much, but he's still in huge danger. Ame, though, still able to get the double gang off as he jumps back in now onto Riddies. Sinkyu in the middle will go down. Ame still just passively healing up, though. He's basically fully reset now as Niku, out of mana, can't do anything for his squad. XM pops the Requiem. The Fury is out. Niku can do nothing but a big call. PMA jumps in, gets the dunk off on XM, but how do you deal with Ame? That's the big problem. Got the juice, he found the right one, but he can't keep up the man fight. Ame, glimpse back, but he gets the doppel away. Will be perfectly fine. It ends up actually being a 1-for-2 trade in the favor of Na'Vi, and it's kind of the thing you've been noticing. Like, they can't deal with Ame, but what if they just ignore Ame?
Yeah, there's only so much the PL can do, trying to focus on each one by one. You get a 1.7k gold swing your way in Navi's favor. And as long as they find that backline, it does end up being a lot better. I think your issues right now on Xtreme is you're not able to connect now in the big way with that Solar Guardian. They had to bail out Ame. So you didn't have that connection to kind of play with that. And the Requiem wasn't the best coming out from XM. Doesn't have his Ags up yet. And if Na'Vi can kind of split that fight apart, force the Solar Guardian to be used defensively, while the rest of the team isn't ready to follow through from it, it feels like that's actually the cleanest way right now for Na'Vi to get those conditions. That's exactly what happened in the last fight. They are getting more time to get that build up. And, you're starting to reach the point where there are things to consider. You're 2,000 gold in for Zayat. He's almost gotten Ags. Like halfway into an Ags timing on this Disruptor. That mute is going to be devastating for the Dawnbreaker when she lands in. Especially if she doesn't preemptively BKB before Solar Guardian. You still get some timing value there.
Well, we're going to have a look at the last team fight. And I think the big problem right now that you're seeing, as well as this Dazzle, right? Like, you've got to find a way. If you get a perfect setup like this, you've got to find a way to find Paulison. Don't allow those Shallow Graves to come out, because Ame's still just too damn tanky. You don't really have the dunk opportunities very often against this PL. And, well, maybe initially they weren't worrying about it as Zayat does go down to XXS. I can appreciate that you do have an answer for the Shallow Grave, but getting him to that HP threshold is feeling pretty impossible.
It's not easy. When there's the Solar Guardian, when you've got the Nodal Boon, a lot of the healing spam coming out now with a Holy Lock It Up.
Oh, he's been spotted. Sentry Ward's going to see XM, but they'll get in with the Solar Guardian. PMA, though, gets the BKB off in time, looking to perhaps chase them back. But he doesn't have teammates. It's just Riddies with him. He'll be happy to survive. It's Xtreme Gaming. They will look to retreat, but there is somewhat of a chase now from Na'Vi. They're under vision. XXS, he's been spotted. XM, no. XM, he's sticking around for the farm, but it won't matter. The chase is not on any longer. Looks like they've given up.
Yeah. I think that's a fine call to make. Maybe start to think about Roshan here on Na'Vi. Respawn might not be too long. Doesn't look too long in the clock, so have a good opportunity to kind of set up, take this objective for themselves, get that secondary life up and running on Got the Juice, who has the full butterfly up. This is where it gets slightly annoying for the Phantom Lancer, trying to get some damage onto these cores. Evasion is not something that you deal with all too well with illusion spam. Of course, you're getting your own butterfly out on Ame, which is also a nuisance, but not as much as it will be for him in trying to get his DPS out. This EHP increase for Got the Juice is substantial. So, again, there's some spikes here for Na'Vi. Tormentor, free shard out for Paulson is good. Having that Nodal projection at any time can be quite game-changing. But you're setting up.
Oh. Don't jump in. Just scouting out. Roshan now does respawn up. A little bit unfortunate. I don't think he saw that. They'll still know it's coming up sometime. Arme will stick around, and now they'll definitely know. Got the juice. Looking to retreat. Xtreme. Not like they're looking to rush into the pit, because certainly the pit can be a very scary position for either side to try and fight into, but they will at least ensure that NAVI can't sneak it under their noses.
Yeah, they need to take a fight beforehand. I think one thing for NAVI is, if you do force the fight in the pit, or if you do allow Xtreme Gaming to try to go for it, you've got the Blink Call, you've got the Static Storm, you've got a lot of ways of just preventing that from being clean. Xtreme Gaming have to be careful about this clump up as well. I don't think you risk it by putting XXS inside where he could get Static Storm.
There's the Roshan Roar. NAVI very well aware it's happening, but it seems like they've made the call not to bother. Zayat is around, like he's set up with the Blink Static Storm. Maybe he could try by himself, although I highly doubt he wants to. And he won't, he looks to retreat. There we go, Arme with the Aegis up. So you've got another basically 5 minutes of trying to avoid Arme the best you possibly can.
That they do. Again, he's got a lot of output now with his own Butterfly up. Just the issue is, doesn't feel like he can really handle Got the Juice all too well. That has to come from elsewhere. You've got to maybe almost just rely on your magic damage here on the side of Xtreme. You do have that full Ags up and running on XM, so you've got the supercharged out Requiem running with a few additional souls to play with. And this is where things, again, starts to get a little bit interesting. It's down to how well you use your BKBs. It's down to whether or not you can get that Blink Requiem plus the Solar Guardian on top and kind of line your shot up here nicely on the side of Xtreme without getting caught in something like, say, a callback or a Static Storm. It's down to execution. Both sides have a lot of angles to kind of play around with as the game goes on. The lead, 11K up for Xtreme, it's substantial, sure, but it doesn't really, with the drafts that both sides have, it doesn't really allow you to just shut down the game. There is still an angle to play here for NAVI.
Arme looks like he wants to make the call to go high ground. They know that NAVI will avoid them at all costs. Roshan banner dropped, he's committed. Not a very slow process either for Arme. He's doing the work by himself, basically, as Niku will start to move in, and we are going to have a quick pause to come out. PMA going to TP in on the left side as we have a lag call here from Xingqiu. It's like the issue has been resolved. I mean, Arme's just standing there. You can go for the blink call in, but I just don't see the damage. And again, you don't know where Paulison is. PMA will jump. They've got Arme, but a nice snowball. Xingqiu actually going right in here onto PMA. They've gone very deep, but Arme doesn't want to be around this area, so Xingqiu might have to sacrifice his own life. But he will not. He's okay to boot as Arme now looking to move in. Drains the mana pool of Niku. Call again from PMA, dragging him back. Oh, Arme! He's lost the first life. This is scary now for Xtreme. Static Storm dropped Arme. He can't survive it.
No way.
Arme's gone, but they've got the juice. Got the juice has gone up boot. It's not too bad at all for Xtreme. They've still got XM, they've still got XXS. They'll keep it going though. XM dropping low now. Niku trying to go for the jugular, and he does get him. Extreme need to run. They'll miss a glimpse out on Paulison, but it won't matter. PMA's going to blink in though. Xingqiu going to look to fight back now with the snowball back onto Zayat. So PMA with a nice call out into XXS holding him down. Xingqiu looking to retreat. Niku out of mana, needs to leave the area. In Xtreme Gaming, they will leave to boot. They're not sticking around for the racks. They don't feel safe without their SFPL.
No, they got punished severely for maybe some slight misplays. The desperation from Xingqiu to get that snowball save, running right back in close to the fountain, allowing these angles to constantly come out with call pullbacks coming in here from PMA. It's scary when you get dragged back. It's that repositional play, and there's nothing stopping this axe.
Oh, they're jumping Niku? It's scary now to do that. Niku's not lacking damage any longer. Xingqiu, he'll find out the hard. Oh, XXS.
No,
He's gonna come in. This is one by one. They come in, and one by one they fall. As XXS trying to get out, but PMA with the call out again locks him down. And Paulison, just run. Paulison, don't even look that way. Just get out of it.
Oh boy, this is Oh, this is very clean from Na'Vi.
Ame?
They're finding angles.
Hold on a minute, John. Ame, he could be in danger here. Johnny's farming the triangle. PMA.
Oh, PMA, come on.
PMA.
No,
Does
no,
he
no.
know? Ame gonna move in. The call is out. Do they have the control? Ame
Oh my goodness.
is down.
No buyback.
No buyback available. Oh no.
Oh, this is an opening. This is an opening for sure for Na'Vi. There are still 2 Tier 2 standing, so it's not the end of the world for Xtreme. Likely Na'Vi is just going to play it safe, take a Tier 2 or 2, and start to set up, get some forward vision on the map. They've already established that in the triangle. But you've thrown away the lead here in Xtreme.
Oh, you've thrown away the lead,
That was a huge lead. They had control of the game for such a long time. Maybe the lead was a little bit marginal for a while, but at most it looked like they had about 8K, 6K up above, maybe around, yeah, closer to 10K at peak. Now it's equalized. You only have that 2K advantage. High ground siege begins. You've got the full MKB up on Got the Juicy. Even he has ways of coming into the PL.
Oh, this team. They're Na'Vi. I mean, you and I, we've been talking about it since Na'Vi.
Yeah.
They were Na'Vi Junior. These guys, they are very good. Very, very good, this squad. Yeah, it took Na'Vi a while, but they found them, John.
Oh,
they
yeah.
found the 5. This is a team I think you can easily believe in if you're an Na'Vi fan. I certainly do, I'll tell you what. Xtreme, they're not out of it yet. Still plenty of opportunity to try and fight back, but it's a very challenging game now. And Na'Vi, they're not going to risk anything. No need to. We just went through 37 minutes of hell. Let's just leave it. We'll come back later.
No rush. They've got control. They've got the advantage with mid shoving in. I think the big spike for Xtreme Gaming coming out next is this refresh on XM. If you can get the double Requiem, the double BKB, if you can initiate using that, you know, kind of follow up with that Solar Guardian, things can start to be good. Even a refresh as well coming out for XXS is going to be massive. Right now, the impact we're getting from Ame isn't too high yet. He's got the full Orchid up, going for the Bloodthorn you tend to see.
Well, they've got to find Zayat. They've got to find Zayat.
They have to find, but he's just so far back. He's got the blink on that Disruptor. It's not easy to find that Disruptor in the back. With that threat of the full Ags up with that Static Storm, you are right, the Disruptor has to go, but I don't know how you get that done.
It's got to be SyncQ or XXS. There's no two ways about it. One of those two has to get that job done. I'm thinking SyncQ really has to get the job done. Thing is for SyncQ, like, he's doing all the snowball saves, he's doing all the setups. He's basically carried the first 35 minutes of the game for Xtreme Gaming. So how much more can we ask from the poor man?
You're gonna have to ask for more, considering that your initiations mainly follow through, right? Like, if you start with Blink Requiem, you have to be sure that you get it off instantly, and you have to preempt, like pre-BKB when you jump in, which just makes it so easy to dodge.
Oh.
At least that refreshes up. This is it. This is when Xtreme can try to play. We haven't seen that clean connection with Requiem, Solar Guardian yet. They haven't been able to take the team fight the way they'd want.
You've even got the level 25 now on the TA, John. 1 second bash on the melt strike. It's not fun. Trust me, it's not fun.
No.
That's all the time she needs half the time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ame's probably the only one that survives. Everybody else not going to be looking too happy about that. Oh, even PMA, refresher orb up, double call. If you catch Ame once, he might just be dead. You've got plenty of time with the double call to drop the Static Storm on top of him.
Oh, for sure. Even the amp damage rune now up. Maybe not the most impactful out from Niku, considering that he can't siege with the Edict, with the Misanthropy up.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's the tread. And again, the map space has shrunk for Xtreme. Now it's looking very similar to that Game 1 scenario, where they're not able to cross the river. They're not able to really take control. The vision from Xtreme, the vision from Na'Vi, just choking them out at the triangle and the mid. They do manage to get smoke. That's not spotted out by the wards. They could try to work a sneaky angle here, but it has to be smart. Ideally, Zayat's first.
I mean, PMA is not a bad time. Oh, they're going to show.
Oh, yeah, no.
They now know where they are, smoked up. Look at PMA. He's setting up for it. He knows exactly where they're roaming right now. Riddies, I don't know if you can even start with Riddies. XG, do they have the sense to just back out of here? This could be a very scary fight for them. They'll plant some wards down, but Na'Vi, they're going to smoke. Again, they know the location. Where are they headed, though? They'll go to the triangle. They want that high ground instead. Just hold that area. Let them come back to you. XXS currently farming, though. Maybe they just saw him under the trap and they want the quick kill. XXS looking to retreat. Does make it out. Does he go for the creep wave? Will not. Very good. Will run directly south. Chase does continue for XXS, but they've lost the scent, unfortunately, so XXS is going to be fine. Xtreme. Still huddled down bottom. I mean, they could try to just continue to creep cut and not let the racks be taken. That might just be the idea here. Just don't let them get to the high ground again.
Yeah.
I mean, for now, Na'Vi, they're holding the dire triangle. They're waiting for Xtreme to come up to them. And here they come. Xtreme. Smoked up. Looking to move through the bottom lane. Do they find Zayat? I don't... Zayat, he's a master hide-and-seek play.
Yeah, no.
Even I can't see.
It's just, he has so much leeway with the blink. Even the Outworld staff is on hand, so he has a little bit of a save, a window to kind of get out of dodge and drop the static storm.
Oh, Paulison, do they see him? No, he blinks away. He blinks away. They have vision. Zayat's going to jump onto the high ground, but they'll see him on that high ground.
Call.
The static storm was there, though, on the call. PMA!
Oh, no.
Oh, PMA!
Oh, it's done.
It's over. Or is it? Buybacks are coming in. Arme going to try and salvage. How do you do so, Arme? How do you do it?
Run?
Snowball is there. Q going to try and allow an escape round. They'll jump in onto Niku, but it's still looking really scary. PMA's just waiting for the chance to jump in. Arme running, trying to just get back to the damn fountain, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. They'll block him off with the shot for PMA! PMA!
Oh.
Not today, he says. But he needs to get out now. Arme moving back in. PMA, he's a tanky boy, but how tanky could he possibly be? Apparently tanky enough. Q trying to get out of there. He'll be all right. They just want the racks. Arme cannot afford to die. Call out.
Oh my goodness.
They've got Q. Another dunk from PMA. We'll see you next time, Q. Good early game. Tier 4 tower. Under siege. XG looking like they're out of options now. I mean, they've got no XM. They've got a buyback on XXS, but that's pretty much all you've got. Got the juice. Readies, they'll hand their compliments to PMA. And so do I, John. Because PMA saved this game single-handedly.
That he did. Again, they had slow laning start, buybacks being committed. They have to wait for XM, it feels like.
I take it back. It was also Zayat's, John. Call is there. XXS. XXS in danger.
No.
Looking pretty unhealthy. Goes to the Solar Guardian. It's the last team fight right now for Xtreme Gaming. If they can't make this one work, it's all over. Dunk is there. PMA not allowing it. Arme trying to run. Dunk him as well. The game's over. Na'Vi, a 2-0 victory against Xtreme Gaming, and my goodness.